Repeatability is a huge advantage with the JCC.
Let me give you a little background on Sugino. The history, we started over 80 years ago. I believe it was 1936 in Japan. Rinpei Sugino, our founder, started it with a tube cleaner that he made for old boilers, marine boilers, for that industry in Japan. Fast forward about 40 years and we opened our first office in the US. We were doing some light manufacturing in Schaumburg in the past. Now we've got our headquarters is based out of Itasca outside of Chicago. You're here in Wixom. This is our tech center where we test all our high pressure water and washing applications.
So most customers come to Sugino we call it pains. Almost each and every customer has some type of growing pains in the production and process. And with that, 90% of the customers out there, and I say this easily said, is they're using the human element to actually do the debur and the clean. And a lot of customers use the spray and pray process, a ton of washer. It's just what it is, because it's not consistently actually hitting a hole where they're having issues. That's where customers go. With that said, because of the Sugino option of the CNC controls, where you can pick nozzles, pick tools, pick process, we can actually help the customer improve their process. But because we are a machining company also, we can actually help them and show them how to improve their process of the machining to help us debur and clean the part better. That's where we've gone with that. Jet clean is, when you say that, you say, okay, I'm using a jet. Basically, it's what the nozzle is. It's a jet nozzle at high pressure from 1,000 PSI all the way up to 36,000 in our best units. Yes, we can get all the way up to that. So basically, it's a water jet.
A lot of our customers are larger automotive customers at this point. A lot of tier 1 and OEM manufacturers. We do really well with the high volume automotive parts and the consistency and the throughput that we can get on JCCs, whether it's for hydraulic manifolds, whether it's for cylinder heads, camshafts, crankshafts, valve bodies. All those parts really are a nice product for what we sell here.
Couple reasons, okay? Deburring with high pressure water, for one, you're cleaning the part as you're removing the excess product. The classification really has a lot to do with deburring, okay? Some products we can do deburring all the way up to a class 4. Most customers aren't going to know what that means. Basically, it's a number 2 pencil that you can actually push the burr over. That's a class 4. Once it goes above that, we're going to have to use a tool. That's where our other models come in. We can actually use a tool to do that, to help you along. Brush, tool, Bearquan, whatever. Whatever it's going to be, we can do that. Repeatability is a huge advantage with the JCC.
Turret and our different nozzles, and that really the options come in really important for the back end, for the filtration system. If we're doing some deburring on aluminum parts, hydraulic manifolds, the filtration is usually pretty easy. We'll catch those chips. That's pretty easy for us to get out of our system. If we're doing some cast iron stuff, a lot of times we're hitting it with pressure. We've got nanoparticles and a lot of that cast coming off. We've got to get that stuff out of our system. We don't want to run it back through our high pressure pump. So that's where a lot of the options on our filtration system will come in. I've got to get that water, add a lot more stages of filtration to make sure that I've got that water clean going back to the pump. Again, the options, we basically turnkey just about every project. We're going to design your fixtures for you. We're going to pick the nozzles that you need to process your part and write the programs for you. So my engineering staff, when we get your part and that, we're going to come up and say, here's our solution in a whole package for you. And we're going to do it from cradle to grave. How does the JCC work? So Sugino, one of the only washer companies that actually builds our own pumps. So a lot of people put a third-party pump on there. This is a Sugino product, the entire machine. How it works is we have that pump, which is a 30 horsepower pump capable of, in our standard JCC, capable of 7250 PSI, but range down to 1000 PSI. And different applications, we can set those pressures to what we want. We're servo controlling pretty much everything now, including our pump. So using that high pressure pump with my applications guys, hey, I need this correct nozzle to debur at 5,000 PSI, and they need to figure all that out. So what we do, we're taking that high pressure water and we're taking it to our turret where we've got a multitude of nozzles that do different things on the part. if you will. And we can go through some of those nozzles here in a moment. But we'll figure out how and where the customer has their hurt points, and we'll go target that. Shawn, I need to get these chips out of the water jacket. Shawn, I've got these internal cross holes that burrs are down there and they need to get out of there. And so we're going to go and target each one of those with our applications engineers, our nozzle layout, our fixture design, and we're going to make the right solution for our customer.
Well, there's a lot of options. You can do manual load, you can do slide tables, you can do robot load, you can do gantry load, you can do side load. Your options are pretty endless. Automation, Sugino's actually jumped into that team or game, as you want to call it, where we're not afraid to try whatever the customer wants to do. We're doing some serious automation with battery companies, with the EV. I mean, we're doing parts as big as 48 by 85 inches with a robot into a JCC, and it's a front load, and we're doing it. So we can go however you need to go. A lot of customers, depending on the size of the system and how many cycle times they need to repeat, they'll either do a robotic system or they're going to do manual load.
So in today's environment, you know, everybody's doing it different, but automation is the key, right? So our team in Japan, here in the US, we've built our own systems. We've worked with integrators. Pretty much we can load this anywhere our customer wants. We've done gantry loads with customers where we'll have auto doors on the top, loading your parts directly in. We'll have robots where the front doors open and we're loading through the front, kind of a typical robot cell. We've got different types of fully automated conveyors where you're pushing parts in and out of the front of the machine. Building a few of those right now, actually.
So in our 80-year history, what you've seen over the years, in the 6 years I've seen it here, the changes in the advancement is in the eSmart technology and the FANUC controls. We've changed everything to servo motor, so everything is 30% faster. It's 30% more energy efficient. And with having the tech center, we've done a lot of R&D here. And with that said, we've actually advanced all of our customers to actually shorten their cycle times and actually get better process out of it. And that's the direction our goal is, to get our customers to get more on the return on their investments. The quicker they can get that, the faster we're going to sell machines. Truly, that's going to be it. But it's still all about repeatability, because everybody's looking for consistency. Everybody.
Again, while this place is here, it's to test customers' parts. And what we ask from customers, you know, again, they'll call us up. Hey, can you do this? Can you deburr this? The answer is typically, probably, but I don't know. Let me send it in. Let's take a look at these burrs and see. So we offer this kind of as free to our customers. You know, we don't want to run production or anything, but we're saying, hey, give us 5 or 10 parts. Get them in here. You know, let me beat one up, because I probably want to run one to where I destroy it and it's going to be scrap. But again, I want to try and find that best recipe to deburr and process your part. So we'll ask a customer for, again, a few parts if they can spare them. We'll get them in here. Usually we can turn it around in 2 to 3 weeks. Sometimes we're a little busier than that. It might take a little longer, but we'll try and figure out a way to get it fixtured up on one of our machines. Obviously not a production fixture, but at least get it in there, create our program, and run it under the high pressure. My guys do a really nice job with their reports. They're going to give you a multitude of before pictures, after pictures. This is what the burr looked like before, this is what it looked like after. Again, what pressure we're running at, what nozzles we're running at, feed rates, dwell times. Again, really impressive reports. I almost can't believe that we give it away for free, but that's what we need to do to sell machines. So that's what we do. We obviously have a lab over here as well where we can do some millipore and cleanliness tests for some customers. Again, if it's more of a cleanliness application. And we do get that in here, but a lot of it, just because people haven't done it before, is with the deburring. They want to see it.
So what we did is we actually took that to heart and said, we're going to actually make it so the customer can see exactly what we're doing here. Every step, every process. So we developed a questionnaire with drawings, specifications, what they do before, what they do after, what's the chemicals they use, what's their expectation? That's the last question. What's the expectation? What do you need us to do to solve your problem? Like I said, we take pictures before of areas, because we'll ask them on their PDF when they send us a drawing. I'll get a PDF drawing and a 3D drawing. The 3D drawing is basically for our programmers. It's not for us to make a part. It's for us to actually upload to our FANUC control, because it helps us get it again, CNC controls, positioning. I want center of each and every hole so I'm not rubbing nozzles inside your part and damaging it. I don't want to do that. The second thing is once we do that, we actually ask them to mark on the PDF. Use a red pen. Show me where you're having problems. Okay, and when you send me your worst case scenario part, I should see these. Once I see that, we're going to test, like we said, 3 to 4 parts, each and every process, feed rates, distances, nozzles, all that. Once we've done that, we're going to develop the report. Okay, and once that report comes out, if the customer wants clean, we're actually going to run it through our class. With that, we're going to give you as much data as we can to show you how clean we can get your part.